I'm still that 4-year-old kid.
We all love watching you compete. Just don't keep hitting your head with the baseball, man. I get worried about that stuff.
I got to knock some sense into me somehow.
Hey, how about that? We're both named Chris, and we both need some sense knocked into us. That conversation coming up in just a bit. Plus, a little bit later, the Questions with the Queen takes us on the road. But first, we start out with a guy who has won it all. Cy Young. He's started multiple All-Star games. He's led the league in wins, in strikeouts, in ERA. I could go on and on and on, but I'd rather have you hear from Chris Sale. So if I had told you in 2010 that in 2026 you would still be grinding away, you would have said?
I'd be very thankful, but it's kind of a hard thing to kind of wrap my head around for sure.
So when you're at this point in this career, right, and you still are competing, you just turned 37, do you take a time to kind of look around and appreciate it because we are on the back nine of this thing or not?
I think I just look at age differently now. You know, like when you're a kid, you think 30's old, and then you get to like 20s, and then you think 40's old. And now I'm like, yeah, you're old when it's like we got a long way to go. But you definitely learn to appreciate the days a little bit more and kind of understand that, you know, any day can be your last day here. This game waits for nobody. This game stops for nobody. So appreciate what you have while you have it, because it's gone quicker than it's here.
You're one of the few pitchers, though, that actually got to pitch in the show the year you got drafted. So how did you get the call up?
That was an interesting story, actually. So I remember that was back when you could sign you could get over slot, but you kind of waited till like August to sign. So originally got the call, it was like, you're going to be a while. It's going to be a while. And then like 2 weeks later, my agent, BB, calls me. He's like, hey, have you been throwing? And I had been throwing. I was down on the east coast of Florida. And he's like, all right, you're going to sign. You're going to sign for slot. You're going to go to A-ball. If you don't get in any trouble and you don't get hurt, like they got kind of a fast track for you. So just be ready. And I was so naive. I was so young. I didn't really know what was going on. I was just playing baseball at every step of the way. So I went to Winston-Salem. I was there for like a week and a half. Got called up to Charlotte, the old Charlotte. And I was there for like 3 weeks. And then, Chambliss gave me the call. Going to the big leagues, August 4th. So it was a trip. I was glad it happened when it did, because I didn't know any better. You know, I just showed up to play baseball.
So wait a second. He goes, you're going to the show. You must have thought like, wait, this cannot be true, right?
Yes and no. So we had kind of had an agreement before that it was going to be a September call-up. So I thought it was going to be September, and it ended up being a little bit earlier. Met the team in Detroit, made my debut in Baltimore, and
Was there ever a moment where you got on the mound and you looked in and somebody was standing in the batter's box and you were like, wait, is this real?
I would say my major league debut was probably the most nervous I've ever been in any situation in my entire life. Running in from center field, you've waited your whole life for this moment, and you're just like, man, don't mess this up. And I messed it up. So I appreciate having a pretty bad major league debut, because when guys get called up now and if they have a rough one, I was like, hey man, I didn't even get an out in my major league debut, so you're going to be all right.
So who pulled you aside and was like, it's going to be okay?
Well, I just remember getting there and like guys were just tough. You know, that was back when you got razzed a little bit for being a young guy. And I had a couple days of it. And then I pitched bad, and I'm thinking, these guys are going to hammer me. And everyone came up and was like, hey, man, you're going to be all right. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, that kind of helped me, like, okay, like, they don't hate me, and, things can go up from here.
Our boy Przinski took care of you.
He might not have been one of them to pat me on the back.
Yes, we know that.
But he did. I will say, he did take care of me, later on.
Where did the delivery come from? Because all I can imagine is some little leaguer down in Florida going, this is not the sport I want to play if that's what I have to face.
My delivery came a little bit later. My delivery came after my freshman year of college. So even my freshman year, I was never like Iron Mike or over the top, but I dropped it down up in the Northwoods League after struggling and just messing with some stuff. And then I just kind of rode that out. Like I just saw kind of immediate success with lowering my arm slot. It felt more natural. My stuff played up a little bit more. I started throwing harder. And, you know, if you're pitching good in college, no one's going to say anything to you. And then I got to the big leagues, and I feel like I had the perfect pitching coach for me at the time, and Don Cooper, who was like,
good one.
You repeat your delivery, you're on time in all the right spots. Like, I have no reason to say anything to do any different. So, like, just keep doing what you're doing. And that gave me a lot of confidence. You know, I was 21 years old, getting called up. You know, I was, you know, had, you know, these big names in the clubhouse, and my pitching coach is like, no, you deserve to be here, and what you're doing is right. Keep doing it. And I was like, man, all right. Another one of those moments, don't mess it up.
So, look, we're filming this a day after it didn't go great for you out here. How long do you give yourself? 12 hours, one night's sleep? What is it that allows you to move on when it doesn't go the right way?
I was actually just talking to some old teammates, and I think I surprised them by what I was telling them. I've changed a little bit through the years. It used to bother me a lot, and I'd go in down there and blow stuff up, and I'm still have in the past. But after something like last night, it's almost easier. Those are easier ones to just let go of because it was so bad. And, you know, this is a long season. This is a grind of a game. You got to be the same guy every day. So it's like, you know, I don't need one bad start to make me a stick in the mud for 3 days and, you know, keeping guys uneasy. It's like, hey, it was a bad game. You know, it happens to everybody. It's a humbling game. You know, keep your chin up, keep grinding, get ready for that.
But it's a thing you had to learn, right?
Oh, yeah, and I'm still not good at it by any means. But again, like I said before, this game waits for nobody. This game stops for nobody. Like no one's bigger than this game, and no one's above, you know, getting their ass kicked from time to time.
You've talked about, and particularly recently, how important it is for you to be the kind of father that your dad was for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're 37, but you got a kid in high school now, and that time is running out.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Whether there's a guilt factor or something where you're like, man, am I being selfish? Or how do you balance that?
It's just communication, honestly. I remember when we were talking about getting traded over here to Atlanta, signing the first extension, signing this most recent extension. You know, I talked to my wife, I talked to my kids, I talked to my parents. And, you know, if my kids were like, hey, we don't want you to do this anymore, like we want our dad to be home, then it's done. I'm out. Like I would make that sacrifice because they made that sacrifice for me for the last 16 years. My son was born when we were in college. Jeez. So, you know, May he's born, June I get drafted, and then, you know, August I'm in the big leagues, and he's been a part of it the whole way. So my sons still love being here. They love being, you know, at the field, coming to games, you know, staying for fireworks on Friday night. My wife, she's still, you know, fully bought in. She's like, you know, I'm not going to take you away from your dream. We've done it for this long. What's doing it for, you know, another couple of years? So I have a really good support system, and that helps a lot. And, you know, after being away for some years, being hurt, you get the game back, you start having a little bit more fun, you start appreciating it a little bit more, and your view on things change a little bit to make it more enjoyable.
Over a 3-year span, you pitched 11 games, I believe.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Well, how dark? I mean, we talk a lot on this show about you guys getting through tough stuff mentally. How dark was it?
I think, again, I just kind of leaned on the people that were around me and closest to me. It was tough. I mean, I'm not easy to deal with on my best day. So some of those days were tough, and you know, you just got to lean on the people around you and just know that somebody somewhere is having a worse day than you. You know, like it could have been a lot worse than, you know, a couple arm surgeries and, you know, broken this, whatever it is. So, you know, perspective helps a lot too.
Last time you wore your World Series ring was?
A while ago. I just keep it in my gun safe.
Okay.
I got the replica trophy in my closet.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
But yeah, not very often. That's probably something I'll do more when I'm done playing. I want to keep that drive to go get another one.
How important is 3,000 strikeouts?
I got to win games, man. I can't worry about that kind of stuff. I had 7 strikeouts last night. That was really cool. The 6 runs attached to it weren't really cool, so.
But there's only 3 lefties, I think, that are in that 3,000 strikeout club, right? It's Unit, Steve Carlton, and CeCe. That's
Kershaw.
Oh, yeah, he got there, too. I forgot he played.
One of the best to ever do
Just
it.
joking.
Don't let him do that to you, Kirsch. You better let him hear that.
He became a pretty boy now that he's on TV.
No,
Did you see him? He got rid of the beard and he did the whole airbag.
Well, he's got to be a real person now. He doesn't have a freaking, he's not running around the clubhouse anymore. He's got to be presentable.
That's true. But so to be one of 5 would be pretty damn
No,
cool.
and I appreciate the history of the game. I appreciate numbers. I really do. But you can't play this game for numbers. You can't play this game for stats. If you have 9 guys trying to hit for average, it's not going to go well. If you have 5 starting pitchers just trying to strike everyone out, or, this game is, if you play the game the right way, and all that stuff works itself out. And if it works out, awesome. I would love that, and I would appreciate it. But if it doesn't, I've had such a blast doing this, and I appreciate all the people that I've met, all the experiences I've had. This is like, I think this is season 16 or 17, so it's like, that just in and of itself is kind of wild for me to think of. So all the other stuff is just kind of, cherries on top.
So you're saying, Rose, don't even ask the question about what the Hall of Fame would mean to you?
Again, that's one of those things that you just go play the game. If I have a job to do, I show up every 5th day, I compete with every ounce that I have. There's no question about that. I leave everything I have out on the field. And if it works out, and I'll be very thankful. But if it doesn't work out, I'm also going to be incredibly thankful.
So last thing, you still love it the same way you did when you came up. It sure seems like it.
I think I probably love it more just because of the perspective, Take a 4-year-old kid, give them their favorite toy on the planet, and take that toy away, and then give it back to him. He's probably going to have more fun the second time around. I'm still that 4-year-old kid.
We all love watching you compete. Don't keep hitting your head with the baseball, man. I get worried about that stuff.
I got to knock some sense into me somehow.
You're the best.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
time, man. It is always great catching up with a guy who I think is going to end up in Cooperstown one day. You know what's even better than that? Hearing from my beloved Queen. It's time for another edition of Questions with the Queen.
You guys travel a lot. When I hit the road, I have to have my complete skincare so the Queen can glow. What's the one thing you need to have when you're away from home?
Shoot, normally I'd say like my backgammon board, but I don't know if anybody's going to play with me.
For me now, it's my pillow. Yeah, I know. Over time, I realized how much I don't like hotel pillows and a lot of like messed up necks and tight backs. So now I travel with my pillow and it's been game changing.
Backgammon. That feels like an old person game, no?
My mother was the one who got me into it, so maybe it is. But BJ Murray plays. BJ's put a lot of work in after I was whooping up on him last year, and he's a lot better now.
Is it one of those foo-foo pillows?
No, it's like...
You can admit if it is.
It's one of those like, it's like the ergonomic pillows. Have you seen those?
First of all, define ergonomic, because there's no way that...
So it's not like one flat...
Smart guy.
No. It's like one, it's supposed to fit your head shape and your neck, and I don't know. It works, that's all I know. I was told to buy it, I bought it, and it works.
Sounds foo-foo-y to me.
All right.
Can you gamble in backgammon?
Yes. We don't, though. We don't, though. No gambling.
I got an instrument from my friend for my birthday. It's called the kalimba. Avatar: The Last Airbender is my favorite show ever. And the final song is actually played in a kalimba. So I fool around with the kalimba when I can. So,
are you going to win a Grammy?
Am I going to win a Grammy? Absolutely not. But I keep my musical talents in house.
I would say underwear or a charger. I'd say.
That's it. Wait, a charger for your underwear?
Yeah, right. For my phone.
No. A year from now, when I interview you, you will bring the kalimba.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you will play it for us at John Boy Media. Is that a deal?
Okay, I'll do it.
Pressure's on. Bring it on your road trips. Work on it. and just think, I need to embrace the John Boy Media Kalimba community. It's a huge group growing.
It's growing. I'll get the group growing even more.
But like I've had guys that have said, I bring my special pillow. I bring nothing.
No, nothing. I would suggest underwear or charger. I don't have any like weird. I pack pretty light too, just a suitcase, backpack. That's it. I don't really have anything like super special. Even in season at home, I have like a suitcase or two. I don't have like a ton of stuff.
I started bringing my own pour over kit. I make my own coffee in my room. Hotel coffee, like the Keurig, the old over and over in espresso cups, it gets old, you know? Like you make your own, grind up your beans on day one or the last day of the road trip and, you know, got a little tiny kettle that boils water, make a nice cup of coffee in the morning. It's nice. Nothing against, you know, the hotels and Cincinnati and whatnot, but it's a little bit of an upgrade.
That's it?
AirPods for sure. I have to have it. Long road trip, you gotta have it.
So what do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of different type of music. I listen to, you know, from rap, hip hop, like Latin music to house music, Afro house, like all of that.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Sometimes I listen to audiobooks.
Okay. Can I get you to hit the like and subscribe button on Dugout Discussions with Chris Rose or Baseball Today?
I would take a look. I would take a look at it.
That's nice. Folks, this is how rich people stay rich. Is they do not spend money on
$4
coffee.
on Amazon plastic. I'm probably getting a lot of a lot of plastics in there. But,
That's okay. That's okay. You don't want to live to be 150 anyway. Seriously. Over under 87, I'll take it right now. Sold.
That's a win. Yeah,
That's a W.
I mean, can't forget the toiletry bag, toothbrush, deodorant.
How often has that happened?
I have not the whole bag. I don't think I've forgotten my toothbrush, but I've forgotten deodorant a couple times. It's, you know, you're scrambling a little bit.
Probably a pillow. I have my own pillow. I don't like those hotel pillows sometimes.
Okay, so what are we looking for? Is there a special thing? Because I've never been a pillow buyer-guyer. I don't know if that really works, but you understand what I'm getting at. So if I'm pillow shopping, what am I doing?
I mean, I like a firm pillow. I don't like those just little fluffy, feathery ones. It's got to have some backbone to it.
So when I used to work for Fox, 3 straight weekends, I was doing the Fox Saturday Game of the Week. I forgot to pack underwear. How bad is that?
I mean, yeah,
That's like rookie mistake.
You're just rolling with it then at that point.
Yeah, that and then some.
My red light mat, like a recovery device. Yeah, I bring that everywhere.
Are we buying that? Does that thing really work?
They got it for us here. I'm like, if you think it works, it works. I believe in a lot of that stuff, so I have no idea. One day I used it in spring training like a year or two ago, and then I threw faster that day. So ever since then, I'm like, I have to use this thing all the time.
Depends on where we're going, but I have a little like a travel fly rod. If there's the opportunity to fish somewhere, I'd bring my little travel fly rod and cast a little bit.
I'm probably bringing a pillow, or I just got this Hatch, which does it does a red light 30 minutes before bed, and it's got the fan noise, like white noise. And I can't sleep without it now, so I'm definitely bringing that wherever I go this year.
So are there different fly rods for different cities you would go to?
Well, it's just for packing purposes. There's one where I can keep it concise, keep it small, fit in my suitcase kind of thing. It's like it breaks into 4 pieces.
Wow, this is high-tech stuff here.
High-tech stuff. You live on the road, you got to be able to travel with what you want to use on the road.
Basically what you're telling me is that you majored in fishing at the U.
Essentially, yes.
So it makes the room red? I'm having a hard time with this.
It's like you've probably seen it. It's like a sound machine.
It's a sound machine.
It's called a Hatch, but it's a sound machine that can emit light for like 30 minutes, or like waking up, you can set it to different colors and stuff, like gradual. So I've been using it. I like it. I like the white noise especially, so I'm definitely bringing that anywhere.
PlayStation. I need a game. I need some type of game, video game, but I prefer my PlayStation. If I got my PlayStation, I'll be perfectly fine. I can just sit in the room, play with the bros, and we can have a good time.
So the white noise is the setting that you use? You don't change it up?
No, I don't know what else there is. Like I woke up to ocean sounds, and it felt like I was drowning in my dream, waking up. So I'm just not doing that anymore.
Do you ever stream?
No, I need to start. My friend Michael Harris has started streaming, and he's encouraging me to stream. So once I get all the setup things, I'm going to start streaming.
The two of you together on a stream would be
amazing.
We might have to sponsor that at John Boy Media.
Just let me know. I'm ready.
It's going in the bag with me?
Yeah.
You know what always goes in the bag? The first thing I thought of, the podcast mic. Podcast, can't forget that. I'm in a bad spot if I forget that.
Way to be a businessman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple photos of my kids that I always take. You know, the hotel rooms can kind of feel cold at times. They're so clean and modern, so just to add a little touch of home. You know, staring at your phone's great, looking at photos, but I got a couple just like photo frames from IKEA. They're not the most sturdy, but they've lasted a long time, and I got a couple cool photos of my family, so it makes the hotel room feel a little bit more homey.
That's right. I usually have a couple of pictures with the family that I carry in my wallet all the time, so I would say that.
Do you talk to the photos? Because that's what I do. It's okay if you do. It's fine.
No, FaceTime works great. Yeah.
Not even one good night kiss?
No.
Oh, wow. Only thing I really travel with is my iPad. That's like a consistent, gotta have it with me. Got the shows, obviously. I play a lot of chess online. So I do that on the iPad, so I'll say my iPad's the one thing I gotta take.
So you're the Joey Votto of today because he played a ton of online chess.
Yes, except I'm not very good and Joey's very good. So
Yes,
it's very different. I'm trying, but I'm not yet good.
Ooh, probably some candy, like some Reese's or something, for sure. That or a PS5.
Okay, well, the PS5 I get. You know they make Reese's on the road. Like you don't have to bring those if you don't want to.
Yeah, but it's a struggle to try to find them, and sometimes the hotel doesn't have them. And then, you know, those late night cravings, I'm a sweet tooth. You don't have it, it's a bad night.
So major leaguers eat as poorly as the regular people do, right? Like I'm starving at night. You'll do that too?
Oh yeah, I'm a big munch eater late at night for sure, yeah.
Do they ever ask you questions and then figure out you're in the show?
No, I avoid the chat feature of chess.com mostly. A lot of it's not very active, but there are some people who will start talking trash in there sometimes. But no, I haven't had any interactions like that come up yet.
Probably my headphones. I never going to forget that. Used to be in every time that I get on this on a stadium, I had to be in the mood. Like I had to put my earphone on, put the same kind of type of music. Used to turn me on.
Get you pumped up?
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. It can turn you on too. That's perfectly fine here. Always fun to hear from the show leaguers, as I like to call them. Next week, we have to hit the road as well. We take you back up the 5 freeway here in Southern California, out to Dodger Stadium. Make sure you tune in then for yet another edition of Dugout Discussions with Chris Rose.